Hello, everybody. How's everybody doing in the chat? If anybody has any questions, we're doing Q&A. John Q, how's it going?
Hello, Miss Yunu. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. So anybody in here has a question, we can answer for you. We're going to be talking about Daniel Robinson. He's been missing since June 23rd, 2021. Hey, at it again. How are you? Thank you for coming in.
Hello, Miss At It Again Media. Y'all had a great show.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. I like going on her channel. We just chill and talk. Hey, Country Christian, how are you? Thank you for coming in. So, At It Again has a question. How close are you all to solving the mystery?
Well, good question. And we're really not there to solve the mystery, so to speak. We're there to give assistance to Mr. David Robinson, who's in search of his son. The information that we're digging into is very valuable to the case, putting various different elements of the case together, people, names, places, associations, etc., and making sure that Mr. Robinson has that information so he doesn't get lost in terms of the overall investigation. There's just so many moving parts that's involved in this investigation. Sometimes, you're looking at one thing and you may overlook another. So we're his backup support team, if you will, in making sure that he's covered all the bases. Good question.
Exactly. Yes, very good question. Thank you. Anybody has any questions for us? Put a Q in before you put the question in there, or question before you put the question in there as well.
Hello to everyone who's joining us in the chat. Great to have you. Good to see you.
Thank you for coming in, Lady Love. Thank you for coming in, 12. Thank you. Shay, thank you. Brooklyn, thank you. Y'all have any questions? We're talking about Daniel Robinson. He's been missing from Buckeye, Arizona since June 23rd, 2021. And we are looking into his case. We look into it daily. We always think about him. He's in our forethought all the time. So until he is found, we're not giving up. And neither is the father. And the father is working on it diligently every single day. On Saturday, he goes out with a crew of volunteers, as many as he can get in and get out there, and they help him look for Daniel. So we're trying to get funding, help him with his funding, and we're trying to get him more petitions signed. If you guys haven't signed a petition, go sign a petition. And if you know anybody that hasn't signed a petition, please go sign a petition as well. Country Christian said, hold on one second. She said, how far is it from Phoenix, Arizona?
How far is Phoenix, Arizona to where? As we're talking about an area where Daniel went missing, which is an area of Buckeye, Arizona. So I'm going to presume that that's what you meant. It's about 40 miles outside of Phoenix, west of Phoenix, actually. If you're traveling from Phoenix to Buckeye, the main route that goes from east to west is I-10. And that'll take you out of Phoenix over to and through the Buckeye area. Hello to Brooklyn Cord Cutters TV. How are you? Good to see you. Shay's Faith is in the building. Country Christian is in the building. Good to see you. "12-Step Woman, holding it down in the house. Good to see you, love. And we have Miss Lady Love in blue, all dressed up, holding it down for Miss Unu this afternoon. Good to see you too, Miss Lady Love. Y'all are great together in terms of the live that you just came from. Great chemistry. Great chemistry. Okay, I believe Shay's Faith has a question here. Has the police department tried to help in any way currently? The answer is no, unfortunately. The Buckeye Police Department was one that was contacted first in reference to Daniel's Jeep being found by a rancher. That was near the date of July 19th. And they were the first responders to that location in the Sonoran Desert. And from that point, they had contacted Mr. David Robinson shortly thereafter, I believe the next day, and let him know that they were able to locate Daniel's Jeep, and made an appointment for him to, I guess, come down to the area where they had moved Daniel's Jeep already to that location, as well as the items that were found in and around Daniel's Jeep. So from that point, they released all that information and items to Mr. Robinson, and he's been since trying to get their assistance in reference to the searches that he's been doing out there in the desert since he left South Carolina on June 26th. So it's been an uphill battle trying to work with the Buckeye Police Department as far as he's concerned.
Okay. Thank you, Country Christian. She said I had shared it with my cousin that lives in Phoenix.
Oh, great.
Awesome.
Great.
Yes. Hello, Ange. How are you? Question from Brooklyn. He said, has it been any updates? I've been following the story for a little while.
Updates as to anything specific? Like I said, there's a lot of moving parts. So if we're talking about well site searches, yes. You're talking about search activity, yes. If you're talking about Candlelight Vigils, yes. So if there's anything specific, I can cover that with you.
Yeah, and I'm going to put the Candlelight Vigil in here because I have that set ready to
great.
go out.
Great. Yeah, that's happening tonight. Arizona time is 6:30 p.m.
Yes.
New York time is 8:30 if you're on the East. And we hope to have that live streamed live tonight on my channel.
Yes.
Miss Q is going to be there. She's going to be boots on the ground. So I've been waiting to hear back from her since her travels early this morning, leaving out of where she is on the West Coast, traveling to Buckeye, Arizona, which is about 4 hours, 4.5 hours, give or take.
All right. Did you put a Did you already put a live stream yet? Did you set up one yet?
No, I didn't post it yet. I was
Okay.
handling some other things at the time, and I said, well, I still have time to go ahead and post it once I hear back from Miss Q as to the specific time she's going to go live. Then we can pick up on it.
Okay. Let's see. We have any more questions?
And for those of you who are just new to this story, Daniel Robinson is a 25-year-old field geologist working out of Buckeye, Arizona. And on June 23rd, he went to work according to his schedule, and then shortly after, he went missing, and nobody knows where he is. This case is brought to me by Miss Q shortly after we finished the Summer Wells Reward Fund Marathon back in late October, early November. And that's pretty much how I was able to come across the case, up until I physically came across the case on Miss Unu's channel when she interviewed Mr. David Robinson for the first time, pertaining to his son going missing. And so from that point, I picked up on the case from there, was able to obtain the police reports, some photos, and some research on the internet to begin putting the storyline and the narrative together, which helped me to begin presenting this information on my channel. So we've covered it extensively on my channel as well as Miss Q's channel following the case.
Right. Yeah. And if you guys are content creators as well, we need you guys to share out at least 15 to 30 minutes of an upload. Anything about Daniel, about the case, where he's missing from, how long he's been missing, and a pass it on challenge for you guys to pass it on to the next person so they can talk about it. We want to make him go viral. Not any content creators to go viral, but to make Daniel Robinson go viral and have his father, so his father can find him. I mean, because he needs to be found. It's getting ready to go on 9 months, John. It's just crazy.
Yeah.
Almost
and he's been missing for 9 months. Yeah. And it's a great point you just brought up, because you're working with a team, the Make This Go Viral team. So, and that's great. You guys can do a whole lot too.
Yes. About that,
because I know that you've been doing part of the fundraising campaign on your channel. I've done it on my channel.
Yes.
I believe Mr. Boss Blake had produced information and a video on his channel to get the word out. The Grizzly True Crime team has been working as well. So the more the better.
Yes.
To get this,
definitely.
to get the story out. Yeah.
Definitely.
And what better place to have it really go viral is with a team that goes viral with it.
Exactly. So I'm gonna go ahead and show David's video of him going in that well, the last one he did.
Oh, okay. All right.
Give me 1 second. Because I think this time it came out clearer than the last video he did, because the other one was just really fuzzy. This one was a little clearer. To me, it was.
Yeah. We did have some difficulty trying to actually show and share that particular video, the very first one he did. And then he was able to get a much clearer one posted after that. So if that's the one that you're going to show, then that's a good one. That's a very good one.
Okay.
And I believe the video you're about to show is one of the wells that Mr. Robinson has searched now, which was north of where his son Daniel Robinson went missing.
Mm-hmm.
And this well was about 980 feet deep.
Yes.
According to the camera footage that he shared with us. So.
Yes. Okay. So this is the well that he went in.
That is, take the camera down in that well and actually search that well. They decided not to do that. They decided to get camera to take it to the water surface and then come back up and say, oh, well, your son is not there. I'm hoping my son is not there, but that's not the way you properly do work. When I see things like that, I'm a detail guy. I'm former military for one thing, and we pay attention to details. And those details was not completed, and so I had to go find my own avenue. Was able to find the company Geolog, which I'm grateful they came out, and they came out and put the cameras in, put the cameras down, gave the well owners a free well inspection, along with allowing me to get down in that well check. Again, I have questions about this well. That's why I planned it again. After hindsight, I made a video saying, hey, my son is not in these wells. I'm grateful. But hindsight, looking at this well again, I'm checking with this company to make sure that well location that they say he was last seen is accurate. The reason why, because there's some question now, is if that was the original well site versus the one that we always been saying all this time, which they are very close to each other. One was north and one is south of each other, and both was checked. And like I said, this footage is from the one on the north side of the end, and there's some other wells that we thought was wells out there that should be searched that day. We went to go search those, and it turned out they are mines. So we had to regroup. I'm sure today is Friday, so we may not be able to do it today, or if they call me today, they're ready. We'll do it today. If not, it'll be sometime next week to search those mines also. And those are vertical mines, very deep. We don't know, once we get to the water level down very deep there, at least about 200 feet down before you hit the water level. Pretty much how this well is, close to 200 feet before you hit the water. And then once you hit the water, there may be another, unlike on this well, it was another 800 some feet, almost 700, 800 feet deep of water. So we're going to get those checked out. So thank you so much for coming in. I will go down timeline, but I'll go ahead and play this video as I'm going down timeline and doing all those things. So thank you for watching. This is the mine. Well, sorry, that is north of where my son was supposedly last seen. This is the one I'm having question to make sure this is not the original well site, and I have a lot of reasons why. As you see it go down, right now we're only at 2 feet, right? Start into the well. So as it go down, you'll start seeing some obstructions there that would make you wonder. This well is supposed to be clear. To make a long story, that everything, that should be nothing down in that well. There shouldn't be any obstructions and things like that. So it should be straight on down to the bottom of this well. So you're gonna notice that there are a pipe. You're gonna notice there a wood structure, some wood that's thrown in there, and then under there you'll notice that there's a fence post was there with the cement on the bottom of it, and something else there. And until you get all the way down to the bottom of the well, he's gonna have a hard time getting around that pipe that was put down in there. He's going to go try the size, but like I said, there's a wood structure that was there just holding that pipe up because it got enlarged in the well site. And when that pipe went down there, that wood stopped the pipe from going all the way down to the bottom. So he's going to go through the center of that pipe just to go back and get around be able to continue to go down this well to search. But as you see, sometimes you may see him pause a little bit. And that pause is due to, like I said, he's not only doing this for me, but he's doing this for these owners. He's doing a well inspection. Right now, you see how clean it looks. That's clean in the well's perspective. Right now, he's at 91 feet down and counting, keep going down. I guess on your screen right now, it's a little, just get to that point, but 99 feet and 100 feet down, just keep continuing. You'll see when we get down closer to that, where we hit that area, then I'll talk about that. But right now, I want to go in the comment section, and I want to thank everybody who decided to come out here this morning. There you go, Mr. Razine, my battle buddy. Thank you for being out here. I see you on timeline. Thank you, Anu, for coming out this morning. I really appreciate it. Thank you for being here this morning and being a moderator and helping with everything. I really appreciate that. You being here, helping out in every way you can in the background, and being very passionate about my son's case. I really appreciate it, everything you're doing on your back end. I really appreciate it. Thank you, 12-Step Woman, for being here this morning. I really appreciate you coming out. Thank you, Lois, for being here this morning. I think I got your name right this time. Thank you for coming out from North Carolina. I really appreciate you. Thank you for coming out. I wish I could pronounce your name, but I've seen you before, and I think you was on Mr. John Q channel. I really thank you for coming out and being here, spare this time and take your time out to be here. Also, Stasa, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for putting that information out, coming out this morning. Thank you, Latoria. That's my best friend's daughter. I really thank you for being out here, and thank you for you and your sister and your family, your mom, your dad, for everything you're doing. I'm really happy to see your face, see your face on the screen this morning. Thank you for coming out. Also, thank you, Rochella, for being here. Thank you for coming out, taking your time to join. Thank you, Lakeisha, for everything you do, in terms of helping out in the city distribution, all the hard work you're doing, all the many flyers that you produce and put out there. It's a lot. So thank you for being part of that team and being there faithfully every week. When nobody else there, you're definitely going to be there. So I really appreciate you being there and coming out to help. Also, thank you, 12-Step Woman, for being here. Thank you so much for coming out, taking your time. Loretta D.
John,
Okay,
if you need me to stop, let me know, okay?
Being here. He had to go through the center.
Okay.
Trying to get to the center of that pipe at this point. It's because, like I said, he tried to go around the sides. That pipe shouldn't be there. All the struts should be there. All that debris that's sitting there on top of that water. Think about this, eventually going to be drinking water. This is water that in a well that, so he going back to readjust the camera. We had to adjust the camera to go down a little more centered towards that pipe. So we're gonna move it over just a little tad once we get it up. But what he had to do is go through the center because he tried to go down the side, and like I said, it's a wood structure. I kind of missed that going down timeline. Thank you guys. But once he go down the center, he can continue on going down as well. So that's one obstruction that you guys see. It's a pipe that shouldn't be there in the center of that well. So again, thank you, Loretta D, for being here.
Yeah, you knew if you can stop it just for a moment. Okay.
It's not. I
for
was
those
reading
that are
while
just
I was muted. Sorry.
Oh, okay. For those that are just coming in and taking a look at the video surveillance footage of a well that was searched by Mr. Robinson and his team, this is a well that was recently searched north of where Daniel Robinson was working. Now, Daniel, when he was out here on June 23rd, his job was to do some water testing to check the sediment in these different types of wells. We don't know how many wells he was supposed to check, but the well that he was working at in the Sonoran Desert is a well similar to the one that we're looking at right now on the camera. The technology of the camera that's being used is to check the well's integrity, the walls of the wells, as well as the depth, as well as the water itself. They use a technology called Starlight technology, where we have a camera that is pointed down in the well, and as soon as, and you'll see it as we proceed, as soon as we are in that area where the water is, you'll see that camera light up, and it will begin to illuminate the water and then go through the top of the water's surface and then penetrate the water and then submerge into the water. And then you'll see the Starlight technology really show a lot of what we'll see past once we get to that area. And this is how they check these wells for integrity. They check the wells for the water's integrity, and also to make sure that there's nothing in these wells obstructing the line itself, nothing clogging it. There's no debris, sedimentary, bacteria, etc. So as we proceed, you'll begin to see all of that come into the picture. Thank you, Ms. Yuna.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Rochella, again for being here. I really appreciate it. Good morning to you from New York. Thank you so much. I have a lot of New Yorkers out here. Thank you, Tanya Beth, for coming out this morning. I really appreciate you for being here. And again, my brother in arms, my battle buddy, my brother and family member forever. You know what I'm saying? My battle buddy, David Razine, thank you, sir, for coming out and being here with me. Again, I really appreciate you. Also, thank you so fresh, Sophia. Thank you so much for being here this morning. Thank you for what you do. Thank you for being on team, getting things together in the background, being part of the team, and we're moving along. So I'm really grateful for all the hard work that you hear, and I'm glad to see you up bright and early, bright and early to join me. I think I have this question here, but I think Stasis. Thank you for being here. If I say your name more than one time, thank you again, double times two. Thank you, Gwen, for being here also and being the moderator and helping out. Like I say, everybody can like, share, subscribe. I really appreciate that. Thank you for being here and thank you for helping me. Thank you, T. Sophia, for what you do in the background, and you'll help.
John, the reason why he's pulling out is because there's obstruction, correct?
The reason, yes, he wants to make sure that they get a better handle as to what direction they're going to deal with the obstruction, and then begin to manipulate the camera in a way to where we'll be able to go past the obstruction. The other thing I believe Miss Leanne had mentioned in the chat is just that, so that this way that starlight technology can illuminate the well to a point to where it will clarify any shadows or any obstruction that's in that well. That's what the starlight technology does. You know, if there's any shadows in there or any obstructions that's going to cause any shadows, they'll be able to manipulate the camera in a way to where they can actually move that camera in any direction that they want, both vertically, horizontally, as well as pull back and forth through that area. You'll see it in just a moment.
All right.
And been a part of the John Q and Miss Q, and also with UNU and Renegade. Thank you. I'm glad. Thank you for all the hard work you do yourself in the background and help towards me finding my son. I'm really grateful for that. Thank you so much for everything you do. Also, my name is David Robinson, father of geologist Daniel Cornelius Robinson. I'm here doing a Q&A this morning. I'm really highlighting and running this footage again of a well that we searched, one of the wells that we searched on Monday. Was able to get a camera down this well that Buckeye formerly put down a camera into under my request, but they was unable to do so properly. As in, we need a camera that would go submergible underwater and also have the lighting and everything else, the proper equipment. This, it could have easily hired these guys to do so. A company like the company here that helped me with this well to properly do a well search. But I was able to work a deal with the owners. Owners wanted certain little deals, and also with my son's former employer and things like that. Well, not former employer, but his company, and was able to get this company out here to help me get this well search. So I'm really grateful for that. And like I said, we did this Monday. This well site here is the one that's north of the one that we originally.
I have a question, John. Why didn't his company pay for like this type of thing to go look into the well? Do they not have those tools?
Well, these wells are checked, especially with the community development project that's going on out there in this particular location, which is north of where Daniel's job site is. And so they are already scheduling a company to go out there to check these wells for well integrity as well as water quality integrity. So Mr. Robinson was able to connect with the company that was going to do the work out there anyway.
Okay.
You see, and so he was able to make that connection with them, and obviously, they made that good connection to go ahead and check these wells according to how they were going to perform anyway. And as you can see, they're calibrating this camera right now. You'll see it move back and forth closer to the left wall than the right wall. And so they're calibrating this camera right now so that this way, once this camera descends again, you'll start to see it move closer and closer to the water level and then find its way through that water surface area. You'll see.
Okay.
Yeah. But going back on, why didn't Daniel's company, assist Mr. Robinson in helping him to check these wells with this kind of technology? And that is that's a very interesting question indeed. This could have been paid for by Daniel's company to do, and then again, it might be something else as well.
Okay.
And I'm just glad he had made contact with this company to actually get it done.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank God for that.
Especially now. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
They say my son was last seen. We did both. I have footage for both, but I'm really concentrating on this one. The one that my son was supposedly last seen was clear. Didn't have any obstructions there. It's straight down. The well is not as deep as this well here. This well is very deep. It goes up close to 1,000 feet down. The other well only goes up, I think it was like 700 feet, which is deep also, but not as deep as this one. And this one has a lot of obstruction in it. It comes out clean at the top. This is considered clean when it's the well. You can probably see all the stuff on the side there, but for a well, this is clean. And until you get down to the obstruction part, once you get past that point inside the water where we're going now, you will see it's still pretty decent on the sidewalls. Whenever he sees something wrong, he would pause the camera, and he would take the side cameras and inspect the well, get his notes for the owners, so they can know the viability of the structure of their well to make sure it's structurally great or good or it can be used. And so, like I said, the deal is that the owners can get a free well inspection at the same time as going down this well to search for my son to make sure he's not there. At this point, I have to look at every avenue. It's very hard as a family to even say that, but I have to do my due diligence, and I have to look at anything that's dealing with the desert. In terms of my son was there last seen that.
So I have another question. Okay, so like when you work at a company and they have workman's comp, correct? Why would they not have workman's comp for someone that's possibly missing or something's happened to them? Because for the fact they did find his Jeep, so where could he be? So why don't they have it where the insurance would cover some of these things that he has to do?
No, that's a good question. Most companies don't expect their employees to go missing.
Right.
So I think that's what holds down the liability cost of actually paying that kind of insurance to cover their employees. So give or take, that's a very interesting question.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure not any employee on this God green's earth do they expect someone to get hurt on a job, let me go see if somebody's going to get hurt. No, it doesn't work that way. They get hurt, and that's why they have workman's comp.
Right.
So why don't they have it for this case? This doesn't make sense.
Right. Well, if someone gets hurt on the job, then obviously, that's what it's for. However, there's a big difference between getting hurt on the job and going missing.
Yeah, that's true.
And so, the two are like night and day. But once again, still a very good question.
Thank you. All right, hold on.
Well adjusted.
Some wood that was thrown in there. And then under there, you'll notice that there was a fence post was there along with us and find his remains. So that's the reason why, as you guys, you come out tomorrow morning to join us in this line search. We need those numbers out there tomorrow morning at 7:45. All the information on pleasehelpfinddaniel.com. I will put that up on the banner. You find that on the website. You come out there and help. I really appreciate that because, like I said, I need those numbers out there. We utilized the line searches, the hasty search, and we found human remains out there. So of other family members. So if you guys can help us out there, we need all those numbers that we can get. The numbers has been getting lower. I can't tell you that in searches, but the people that are dedicated to come out, we all a family. They come out every weekend. We get the job done. We may have to do a little slower because, like I said, I had to cut back on calls by not utilizing these ATV, UTV type vehicles, renting them out and things. But at the same time, we're doing more line searches, which is great. Other people bring their equipment out, and we can send them to certain areas. But we get it.
Miss Una?
Sorry about that.
Okay, I can hear you now.
Myself. Yeah, sorry about that. 12
That's
said,
okay.
question, has Daniel's employment insurance policy been investigated?
Good question. I'm sure that Mr. David Robinson, in speaking with Daniel's employer, had this question along with many other questions when he met with them. In fact, they offered to work with him in a way that they could to try to, supply whatever he needed to go out there to do these searches and everything. So when it comes to insurance policies based on Daniel's employment, I'm sure that they were able to share with him what insurance coverage they do have for their employees pertaining to this matter. And I'm sure that they discussed, the night and day issue between, an employee getting injured on the job
Right.
versus going missing and things of that nature. But they did offer Mr. Robinson additional resources to a point to help.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Okay.
yeah, that information Mr. Robinson could better answer if he's able to share that particular information, because it is private information
Yes.
as well, But good
Yeah.
question. Good question.
There is some questions that can be answered and some questions that cannot, because
Right.
it could hinder the case. So, hold on.
Right. Now, at the level that we're at right now, which is 166 feet, 0.77 in this well, we start to see some things that begin to obstruct the descension of the camera. Looks like there's a cylinder pole of some kind that's been either tossed down this well. It shouldn't be there, along with other debris that we're starting to see floating on the top of the water surface. Looks like there's a brick there or something that resembles a brick. And we are starting to get into an area where the river is actually flowing into the cylinder of this well now. As we proceed further down, you will see a filtering grid all around the diameter of this well. And that means that, this is an area where the actual river water is being filtered through into this well, removing sediment particles and things of that nature. And the starlight technology will illuminate that so that you'd be able to see exactly how that's done.
Okay, so would that be the Gila River?
I'm sorry, say
The Gila
again.
River, Gila River?
Yes, that would be part of that. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
And this is a river that they have to check for any type of pH and chemical imbalances in the water, because once again, they're expecting a huge community development
Mhm.
to take place, well over 37,000 acres of pipeline
Mhm.
that has to be checked, and the integrity of these pipes and wells have to be checked. And that is one possible reason for Daniel and his job to have sent him out here to actually begin checking these wells for water quality and well integrity.
Right. 12 said, just trying to help Mr. Robinson get access to more possible funding. Yeah. No, I understand what you're saying, 12. It's just, some things we can answer, some things we can't. Some
Right,
things Mr. Robinson can answer, and some things he can't. It just depends on, you know, what the question is and what he can and cannot supply with it, for information.
right. But very good question.
It done. We're getting it done, and I'm really grateful for you guys that
Definitely.
come out to help. So, also, thank you, Don, for being here. I really appreciate, excuse me, appreciate you coming out to be a part of this Q&A. I really appreciate that. If anybody else I missed, I apologize. Thank you, Gloria, for being here this morning, coming out for YouTube. Thank you, Amber, for being here. Thank you so much for coming out. I really appreciate you. Sarah Moore, thank you for being here. God bless you. Good morning to you. Tara, thank you for being here, coming out. I really appreciate that. Grizzly True Crimes, thank you so much. Thank you, Gisela, for being here. Thank you for also Gisela will be helping me tomorrow for the Q and for the Candlelight Vigil. We're doing the live stream, so everybody was wondering about the live stream, you can come to this YouTube channel. We'll be working that thing out with the live stream. Also, I will have footages after that. Have a camera guy. We'll be taking videos and things like that of the Candlelight Vigil for later use. So if you miss anything, we also have ability to play some other things for you. So thank you, Gisela, for saying that. Airborne, the petition is at 107,080 signatures, and I really appreciate that. I remember when it was down to 10 signatures. So we're trying to get up to the 150 right now. The more signatures, the better. You go to change.org. You find out that on pleasehelpfinddaniel.com under sign the petition. So if you guys sign that, like I said, that's very helpful in terms of once I get the forensics work done on the vehicle and everything else. Your word matters. We all in this thing together, and we all your word would matter. And so I just want you to know that it's helpful if you guys can do that. Thank you for Modern for being here, and thank you for your questions. If you guys have questions, please put the word question first, and then I can go back and I can find, when I come down the comment section, I can find your question. Put the word question first, or capital letter Q, and then that'll help me find your question. But I can't answer this question. Has anyone made you aware that Buckeye is a white supremacist area? They are known. They all know this crazy people live out there. Yes. I have experienced it myself. My family and I, we were out there in one location in Buckeye, and yeah, we experienced it ourselves. But that's everywhere. That's everywhere in this country. Some places, like you say, here is a little more than others, where they're more concentrated and things like that. So yes, I'm aware of that. But it's also aware that there's a lot of people there that are not. And a lot of them do come out to the searches. So I'm really grateful for that. But yeah, we definitely have to be careful with that. I consider, like I tell everybody before, I consider everything possibility on my son's disappearance. And that is that. So thanks so much. I want to say real quick though, on this video that you guys see, we had a point where he's trying to go down the side of that pipe again, try to get around that obstruction, but he was unable to, because there's a piece of wood that's actually holding that pipe up. This big, the thick wood. The wood is almost like the train. You go across the train track and see the wood slab that's going across under the track. It's pretty much like that. It's very thick, and that's what enlarged itself in the pipe. So in the well that they tried to use, but then when they put that pipe down there, the pipe got stopped, because that pipe would have made it all the way down to the bottom, all the way up down to 900 feet, but it got stopped because of that wood structure that was there. You may see it a little bit on this camera, but the wood structure that was there stopped the pipe from going farther down in the well. And so whoever was intentionally trying to get that pipe down to the bottom couldn't do so because of that. and which is great because now we're gonna pull the camera back up, and he's gonna go to the center of that pipe, which will allow him to keep going farther down into the well. So that's what's going on right now. He's trying to find a way to navigate around that pipe. And so now we're going back down again. Once he get down to that 100 or so feet towards that pipe again, he will go down the center and go from there. So thanks so much. I have a question here from DJ Moore. Have you seen anything that Daniel may have found that could stop that development? Something maybe the developer might not have wanted out in the public eye. Well, there's some things that I've heard about. You know, I do know that, like I said, my son checks the viability of the well to determine if it's producing at least 100 years. I think some say 200 years of water. You know, that's by law they have to have at least that for communities to be built, because you don't want to run out of water. You know, water source, and so that's one of the requirements. Also, his job is to test the water for the water sediments, the rocks and things like that. They have tests. They test what's in that well. The bottom, when we get down to the bottom of this well, that little dirt that you see down there, they get that and they bring that back up, and they know what's in there from the sediments, the rock sediments and things that come through the crack, and to say, hey, that water could be poison. We don't know. So you know that determines that water can be used and things like that. So that's his job. That's what he does. But now I don't know as in terms that if something there or he found anything. I do know my son took some pictures of some logs. I'm gonna have that analyzed too. I'm looking at every angle. You know what I'm saying? That's the angle that I'm looking at too. From a geologist standpoint, you know, hey, somebody can read that outside of Arizona. That's what I'm waiting on. They can read that for me and determine what the information is that my son recorded. So I do have that, and I'm still holding on that and try to figure out those type things when he logged. Also, thank you so much for your question, and thank you for coming out, DJ Moore. With that, again, my name is Dave Robinson, father of geologist Daniel Cornelius Robinson. You guys can come out and tomorrow and go to Please Help Find Daniel. Thank you, Gisela, and RSVP for the Candlelight Vigil on tomorrow at 6:30. Just go to pleasehelpfinddaniel.com under the events tab and RSVP. We also have the information there of the location and things like that. So if you have any questions, please put the word question there first before your question, or the letter Q, and it'll help me find. So you see right here on the side of that pipe, that's the big wood there that's holding that pipe up. That's why that pipe can't go any farther down in that well. It's kind of grateful that happened, because if that pipe wasn't there, that beam wasn't there, that pipe would have went straight on down there, and whatever's at the bottom of that well would have been covered up. And you know, so now seeing all this debris, seeing the fence pole that you guys will see later, some little things I found down in that well make me question some things now. Look about this well itself. And when you get down to the bottom of that well, then I want you guys to really look at the rocks, the sediment down at the bottom, and tell me what you think once we get there. So I'm taking you on this journey with me down this well, some things that I have seen, and I would like to have your thoughts on that. RSVP, like I said, if you guys can go on to pleasehelpfinddaniel.com and find out how you can join us tomorrow afternoon at the Candlelight Vigil. That's very important. If you can't make it out to the searches on tomorrow, I wish you can. I really need your help out there. But please, by all means, make it to the Candlelight Vigil, because we need all the help we can. All the numbers. I need the numbers. I need people out there. Bring your children, your family, friends, whoever. Bring the stranger if you can. We need those numbers out there to make a statement. And you know, we need to stand in solidarity for my son and many other families who's going through the same exact thing I'm going through. It's not just about my family; it's about a lot of families. We're going through the same thing, trying to get these departments to step up their game to find our loved ones. My son has been missing going on almost 9 months, and I've yet to see them put the resources into this case to search for my son, and also to even change the nature of this case. According to the Buckeye Police Department, my son is okay. He decided to leave his family and go join a monastery somewhere. And to prove that, after the vehicle was covered on the 19th, they gave me the vehicle on the 20th. They turned it over to me. I got angry about that. had them hold it for 3 more days, got angry about it, and demanded them to do fingerprinting. They didn't even so much as did forensics work at the scene on my son, because they thinking, like I said, he just wrecked his vehicle. He coming back. Here's his things. They gave me his everything they collected off the scene. They gave it to me a few days after it was found. The vehicle was found. So they have no intention to investigate anything. They can fool you guys on a police report and say, "Oh, we're investigating." How you investigating when? And also, how you investigating without these things that you turned over to me? They turned over everything. If you're investigating something, you will hold on at least to the clothing. You'll do some forensics work onto it. You keep it in an evidence locker and keep it. I should not have had those things as a family member turned over to me if there's investigating. They were never investigating, and that's why those things were turned over to me. They even went farther to double down on their theory that my son's gonna come back and grab his things, that they hired their own ethnic reconstructionist after they didn't like what my ethnic reconstructionist found. And with using their data, they went and got an ethnic reconstructionist who in turn never seen my son's vehicle, never examined the clothing, never even touched that vehicle. You know, I have that vehicle in my possession. He never ever even asked me to look at the vehicle. But yet he went to a dealership to boast his theories, went to a dealership, not to the company. And I want y'all to look at that in the report. Don't get fooled by that. He went to some dealership here in Arizona. And just like me, I can go to a dealership and go knock on some worker's shoulder and say, "Hey, what you think about this?" Or I don't know what he said to him. It's not an official report. He can say, "Hey, all I need you to say that." He could have asked like 5 or 6 of them. All 5 or 6 of them could have had different opinions, and he took the one that was more favorable. I'm not saying that's what he did, but he could have. The one that's more favorable to what he wanted, and then he wrote that down as a co-worker, one of the workers of the company, of the manufacturers or whoever made this Jeep, one of the dealership people at some dealership. So yeah, that happens sometimes, and he put that in his report. So that's ridiculous to me. That sounds ridiculous. And it's a lot of ridiculous things that happen in this case, and you guys can see it in plain view. And see, that's the reason why we have to get you guys out there on this Candlelight Vigil tomorrow, because we have enough of that. When I say we all should, because it can happen to anybody. I hope it don't happen to anybody, but it can. It's obvious it happens every year. Thousands of people go missing, and stupid stuff like this from these apartments happens. You know, that shows lack of concern. That's what they call lack of concern, because if it's their child, you best believe they'll be doing the same exact thing I did, demanding stuff, and it'd probably be a lot worse. The only difference is, I'm sure if it was an officer and his child, he would have got all kind of attention. There would have been every police force in this country coming out there looking for his son. I wouldn't have to ask for volunteers to come out there tomorrow to help me search for my son.
You know what, John? That water is supposed to be drinking water, right?
Yes.
That's horrible for drinking water. Okay, all the debris in there, that's nasty.
Yeah. Indeed it is.
Disgusting.
Yeah, and what we're actually seeing here are the water microbials in the water, and to see that type of debris as we descend deeper and deeper into the well tells you a lot about water quality in Buckeye, Arizona.
That's nasty. I would not drink water from them. That's disgusting. I mean, like, what the heck?
So
I see why people spend money on bottled water, because look how nasty that is. We could have that here. We don't even know. That just makes you want to drink bottled water for real. Like, that's horrible.
Yeah, so it's interesting to see what issues may be present right now in terms of what we're looking at. If this is one of the issues pertaining to water quality in just one of these wells, out of the many of them that there are out there, they're going to have some serious health issues if none of these are corrected. And once again, hence the reason for Daniel's job to be out here checking these wells for both water quality, well integrity, and to make sure that the pipeline which carries this water and that's going to carry the water to the new community development out here has to be checked, because they have to take a look at what it's going to cost them to clean up. Or to do a water abatement for chemicals and things of that nature. So it's very interesting to see.
Yeah.
And
Added
just
again said they take water through a filtration process at UNU. I hope too, but you know what? Just think about that. Even if it is going through that, this is what we're drinking prior. I mean, like we're drinking what's that's nasty. It's
yeah,
still, regardless if they're filtering it or not, that's nasty.
yeah.
It's
And for
disgusting.
this particular well too, which is nearly 1,000 feet deep until we hit the bottom of it, we'll see the actual cylinder go into a filtration type of grid,
Mhm.
and to see what the camera shows us is incredible. Because if this is going to be the future well of a community development that's going to be established out there over the next 40 years, give or take. Once again, like I said, they're going to have some very very big issues pertaining to health of the
Yeah.
individuals that'll be moving into the homes and the businesses
Yeah.
out there once they are established.
I can't remember the name of that movie, but remember that movie with Julia Roberts? She was an attorney.
Yeah, Aaron Brockovich.
Yes, that movie, you guys, everybody has to watch that movie because it says so much that's out there in these different states. It says so much.
Yeah,
I mean, like these people were getting sick and they were dying from this stuff that was in their water. So this is going to be the same situation. You're right, John. It is. It's going to be the
yeah.
same situation
And
because that's nasty.
what we could see as we go down further, and you'll begin to see what I'm starting to pick up that might be asbestos.
Hmm.
The actual floating in the water, the debris that you see in the water,
Hmm.
could be asbestos particles
Yes.
from that filtered cylinder being down there so long underwater
Yeah.
and not checked properly for any kind of abatement.
Right.
Once again, that's going to cause some very serious health issues if
Right.
it's not checked and removed.
Right.
Yeah,
So, if you okay, so like you know how you like sit a cup of water out for like a few days, you start seeing that little film on top of it.
yeah,
This is what's going on in this this well. This is what's going on. That's why it's getting nastier and nastier by the day, and they're literally, oh my God, they really need to do something with this well. That's just, oh my God, they literally have a pole in there. One of the what bench pole? What is that kind of pole they call those? The post
yeah.
and bricks. Who's throwing these things in there? What are they throwing that in there for?
Right, right.
We're about to
You,
see, y'all.
you
That's
kind of wonder.
why.
You kind of wonder why they're there to begin with, because there should be no obstruction whatsoever in this particular
Right.
well or any of the wells that are out there.
Right.
You see, so someone has carelessly tossed some debris in there,
Yeah.
whether it be a metal pole, whether it be a 2x4 piece of wood, such as the piece of wood that we passed already,
Right.
which already had black mold on it, if you saw
Mhm.
that,
Mhm.
and a number of things. So that's a big problem in
Yeah,
and of
it is.
itself at this point.
That's horrible.
I want to
Added
welcome
again.
everybody too to the chat.
Yeah, thank you for coming in. And added again said, I'm sitting here saying, go deeper, deeper. We're at over 300 feet. Yes, it's going to go deeper. Trust me. And then Leanne said, well, I'm concerned about the debris that's kind of can't get the word out. Why am I can't get the word out. They're putting it in place. Just saying. Sorry. Can't get the word out. It's twisting my tongue right now. And then it says, looks like looks like to me anyways, because there's a few pieces of debris in there. Okay. And then she said, yep, cancer, because that's what was going on with the Aaron Brockfish thing. Yep. We studied that case extensively in our civil procedure class. Okay. That was a good movie. Y'all got to see it if you haven't seen it. She said, oh my God.
Yeah, well, definitely having this
Lots of movies.
particular
Mm-hmm.
view of this well, that this is going to cause most likely the EPA to be called out based on the testing of this water. to make sure that this is environmentally protected. And if they, write violations of how this well has been maintained, obviously they'll be in contact with BLM,
Wow.
in reference to the violations, and then hopefully the violations will be addressed and corrected.
Yeah. And then Leanne said there has been a reason. Wait, there has been reason this area wasn't built on before. So this may be it. Yeah, that's possible. And then at it again said, John Q, that is the plan. Health issues, big bucks for the pharmaceutical companies. Yeah, it's possible.
Yeah.
Making them people get richer and richer, and everybody's getting poorer and poorer.
Well, yeah. Well, that was the issue with the Aaron Brockovich movie. The chemical plant where the chemicals were being dumped in the water, and it was groundwater that those chemicals were being, I think it was hexachlorophyll or something like that. And that not only penetrated the water, but it penetrated the ground.
Right.
When you have ground penetration, and then it rains and it continues in the ground, yeah, you're going to have some very severe, heavy contamination in open areas as well as closed areas, because that stuff moves when the land shifts.
Wow.
Yeah. And so that's why a lot of the folks began getting sick and coming up with various different health ailments, such as breast cancer, uterine cancer, prostate cancer, all kinds of stuff, because they were ingesting the dirty water from the groundwater that it was supposed to be safe.
Yeah, and this was a true story. It wasn't just like they just made this
out of New
up.
Jersey, right next door to me. Yep.
Wow. And then Leanne said, "Oh my gosh, black mold is so toxic." Yes, it is.
Yes.
Yes, it is. And she says cheapskates too. That's what 12 said. And she said, that's 1,000 feet. No, not yet. It's supposed to be getting there. It's getting there. But right now we're at 316.
Yeah, right now we're at 316 feet. And as we go down, just continue to watch the quality of the water and the well itself. Because as we go down, you'll begin to see the cause of where all of this stuff is coming from.
she said, I swear I know how to talk, but it doesn't translate well with my fingers.
Yeah. And it makes you wonder. It makes you think about where you live today and how safe is the groundwater we're drinking.
Yeah.
And so most folks, they buy bottled water, but where's that coming from?
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So to have an water filtration system, a unit placed, in your apartment or in your home, where you make coffee, where you wash your vegetables, where you have your hands. They also make shower filters and other filtration systems. That's the only thing that people can actually count on to protect themselves from, getting sick, is to take that responsibility into your own hands and make sure that, your water quality is going to be, good quality water.
Right.
With the removal of any kind of chemical nitrates and things of that nature, even when you shower.
Yeah,
because that water is touching your skin, touching your body, touching your private areas and things of that nature. So
that's like right now, like where we live, they had a problem with dirt got into the pipes, and guess who got hit the worst? We did, because we're the last house on the street. And they said it's going to happen. And I said, well, you guys need to fix that, because that's gross. I'm not getting in no yellow water, because that's what it looked like. It was dirty water, but it was looking like yellowish, brownish. It was a mess.
Yeah.
And I would not. There was no way in heck was I getting in that tub or in that shower with the water like that. So they have to go fix it. And then they had us run the water for over an hour. I said, who's paying my bill? because that's
Right.
water I gotta pay for. It's coming out of my faucet. So
Right.
yeah.
Sometimes you'll see the people from the water department come out and open
Mhm.
up fire hydrants
Yes.
in the street.
Mhm.
And usually, if one of these well pipes, if you will, that carries our water to us, if there's any breach or any cracks or any integrity breaches,
Mhm.
that makes a big problem. They have to go into the ground, pull that section out, replace that section with all the dirt and everything behind it, and
Mhm.
then flush that system out until the water runs clear again. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
That's the same thing they did here with that, like you said, the fire hydrant. They
yeah,
let that thing run
yeah,
like the is not really the fire hydrant. It's actually the piping that would let it. If it doesn't get cleared out there, we end up
right.
getting that bad end of it.
Exactly.
So they had to run
Exactly.
that thing like overnight to
Yeah.
get all that nasty water out. It was
Yep.
horrible. It
Yeah,
was
because
horrible.
these pipes are running long distance, up and
Yeah.
down blocks, avenues, you name
Yes.
it. Yep.
Yeah. Um, Added again says developmental issues in unborn children. Yes, definitely. Let's see. Keep in mind it's shower and brushing your teeth too. Yeah, that's just gross. All right, let's go to the next one.
Okay.
You see how they're doing up? They have a fallen police officer. You have police officers from all over the country taking vacations to whatever to get on that ground and do stuff for fallen officer. Well, my son, I'm a soldier. I served this country. I fought well. I sustained injuries. I sustained a brain injury. You didn't see me shred my clothes off from Afghanistan. I did shred any clothes off when I had a brain injury. But they're saying that's what happens. But yet, this country and people do not come out there, police or whoever, will line up out there in my searches and sit there and find my son. So that's what I'm saying. It's double standard on a lot of things, and we
Now
shouldn't
you'll
stand for
start to
that. So we
see
need to try to
you'll start
make
to
some
see the
changes on the way they
sediment
approach these cases.
in
They
this
need to
well
take it.
get
If they can't do the
thicker
job, they
and
shouldn't be
thicker
police
as he
officers. I
proceeds.
mean that.
You'll start to see this well get darker and deeper, and the thickness of the sediment is now really pronounced. You see it on the screen right now.
Mm-hmm.
And
That's like, ooh,
and this
that's
is
in
all
the water.
and this is all at 350 feet.
Wow, that's horrible.
Yeah. So we know something is down here,
Yeah.
that shouldn't be. So when we get to the bottom, you'll see what's down here, and
Yeah.
it's
It,
amazing that
yeah.
this wasn't checked and taken care of at
Right.
all. You know,
Yeah.
but
I
once
wonder how
again,
many people knew about this before they decided, you know what
yeah.
I'm
Well,
saying?
if you see the integrity of what we're looking at right now, you can imagine all of those wells out there being somewhat the same as this one, maybe even worse.
Mm-hmm.
You see.
Wow.
But yeah, as we go deeper, you'll start to see the well formation change. You'll start to see it gets pitch dark, and he'll
Mm-hmm.
start to flash the starlight technology to further penetrate the lighting in the well as we continue our descent.
Yeah. Leanne said, "Are those floating larger pieces asbestos?"
There could be particles caught in the filter. Uh, not necessarily asbestos, because we're talking about almost like a moldy kind of substance. This looks like particles from something breaking down in there. Could be a piece of wood or lumber that's been there for so long, it begins to, absorb the water to a point to where the lumber begins to disintegrate and cause pieces and parts of it to begin coming off of it.
Yeah, that it
You
looks
know,
like pieces of wood,
yeah,
something like wood.
yeah. It gets fascinating as we continue, though.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
from the bottom of my heart. I should not be able to go into a police department and see them walking around, eating coffee, talking on the phone, whatever. They should be moving around. The police department should be like a Chick-fil-A or something. They should be moving around trying to find answers to people's problems and cases and things like that. So you should be tired. You should be dead tired when you come home from work because you've been moved around all day. That's what police officer job should be, and that's what I need to see. So this Candlelight Vigils is the beginning.
Now here, if you can stop for a moment,
making that statement. We got.
Now here, we're actually taking a look at the side of the walls at a better angle, and you can actually see the growth microbials on the walls of the well. So this baby needs to be really checked out, and all of this stuff abated.
Yeah.
Taken out of there. Yeah.
It's clear too.
Yeah, because you've got the signs of bacterial microbials just growing on the side of the walls here. You see,
when it gets bad enough, doesn't it start breaking down like the metal as well, like the actual piping?
Yeah, well, when you have bacterial microbials, that's what they do. They start to eat away at anything that it's stuck on.
Oh, wow.
You see, and sooner or later, it's going to breach the integrity of this particular area here, and it gets worse as it goes down anyway. So one or two things has to happen. They reconstruct this well properly, or they have it abated properly. To have an abatement is millions of dollars. To actually replace it is going to cost far more to replace it. But either way, it has to be addressed.
Right. Leanne says, so what do they do to clean that since it goes in the water?
Well, you figure if we use, let me just use an example. If we use stainless steel wool to clean out pots that have food particles fried on them, okay, we don't use a sponge. We have to use something more abrasive to get to the core of the pot or the pan that we're looking to clean. So in relation to that, they have to use a heavy duty scrubbing machine to scrub all of the microbials off the well walls here.
Wow.
Yeah. It would be the same type of example, just like we use stainless steel wool to clean our pots and pans from cooked on food that's baked on or cooked on real tough. Right. And you have to use an abrasive measure in order to get that item clean. It's the same thing here with these well walls. They'll have to use a heavy duty abrasive machine to actually clean them. And they do have the mechanical ones that will swirl around the full diameter of this well, almost like an oil drilling machine, and they'll abate the microbials and anything that's stuck on the wall here.
Yeah.
But that takes time though, because you have to also rinse that stuff out of the well.
Yeah. Wow.
Do some change. I'm gonna do everything I can. That I may not be making a total change. I'm gonna try it. That's what I'm aiming for. But you know what? I may make some kind of dent somewhere for somebody else to take over from that point and get some changes done. Because where they should approach missing person cases, they should assume the worst first, and then work their way back. Not assume everything's okay. Oh, he's a grown man, he can disappear if he want to. Type scenario when the family say, "Hey, this is not typical of my son." We know our family member. This co-workers don't know my son. They don't know him from a job. You're gonna map my son down to a work experience of his character and who he is as a person. So a work experience instead of going to where he has been all his life from childhood. So that's two different things. So that's another subject. I'm going off on tangent. I can do that sometimes. It is a very emotional time. But you guys, thank you so much for your question. Please hit the like, share, and subscribe. I really appreciate it. I have a question here from Lakeisha. Thank you, Keisha, again for everything you do. We're down to 362 feet, by the way, in this well. And you see how the settlements are starting to get a little rough. things floating around in the water, and the well is the side walls are looking really rough. That's a lot of bacteria that grows on the side walls, what I was told. And also some of those need to be treated because that's uh, um, bacteria that eats metal. It takes a long time. So, but that's when you can start seeing little areas where the owners need to be weary of, because that does show signs of it's like metal eating bacteria type deal. So anyway, the question is from Lakeisha. Thank you so much again. How many more acres of desert will you search? That's hard to be determined. That's hard to be determined right now. We do everything based on our grid. We have a mapping system. We look at where we didn't hit yet and what we should hit based on, like I said, the 11-mile radius, based on things like that, how far a person can walk before they collapse. And believe it or not, after all this time, the way we have to do these searches and the way we're doing it, and because of the terrain, we still have something to do. So right now, I do not know. Once we get finished, my search coordinator, Evan, logistic coordinator, he has the Gaia GPS system that he added to our searches, and that will help. That helps also with determining how much acres that we did cover. Like I said, I did more than 19,000 acres. That was before we started recording with Evan when he came along. Before that, like I said, I had searches. So I don't know just yet, Lakeisha, but we're still trying. We're trying to make sure all of that is covered before I can call all the searchers out in the desert. I want to make sure I'm not half doing a job. You can see here, the job was half done by that police department. They came out with that camera and didn't go down in the well like this camera here and actually check this well like I'm doing, having done here on this at 400 some feet in the water. I'm not going to have to do a job or watch somebody have to do a job when my son's life is at stake. His integrity, his justice, everything is at stake. And I'm going to make sure that, everything's done the right way. And, he's right now doing his thing. You guys see the side of that well. He just pretty much going around and he making his notes. So that's why I stopped and he's actually checking the sides of the well, just to get his notes to the owners and let them know what they got going on their well down there. But at the same time, so when you ever see the side views like that, that's just for his purposes of helping doing that inspection. Then we go back straight down. He's also doing inspection going straight down, but that gives me the opportunity to see what's down in the well at the same time. So like I say, all of that is working together. So now you understand what's really going on. So he's taking the circle around and actually checking this well wall, you know what I'm saying, and what's growing on the walls of that well. Some of you see the kind of ridginess of that well. That's where the water, the underground river flows, is able to seep through that wall, and that's how the water gets in the well itself, comes through that wall and kind of collects there, and it builds up in that tube there. So, in a sense, in that well, so that's how the water get in there. It's through the sides and then the bottom. So that's what's explained to me. So I'm learning a lot about these wells, and as we're doing it. So thanks so much. I have a question right here from a 12-step woman. Is this well furnishing drinking water? Yes, that's what it's for. One of the things that bothered me, of course, watching this was all that stuff floating in the water. That, like you said, looking at the sides and things like that. And he said, yeah, that's what we do. That's where you get your drinking water from. I think a lot of times people we won't know that unless we see things like this, and then we say, oh, I'm not drinking water anymore. That type deal. But yes, what I understand is if they was to use this well. They found out this well is able to be used. The water's okay. When I say the water's okay, that means it can be drinkable minus all the stuff they see floating around. What they do, they clean this well out. They suck, have pumps down there sucking the water and sucking all that junk out of there, and let it flow for a length of time until they get, I guess, to a cleaner source. And then from that point, they use it. So yeah, this is coming from the earth itself. The water's coming out the ground, so and debris. A lot of that debris shouldn't be there, and like I said, that's because somebody was throwing some things in there for whatever reason. Right now we're at 467 feet down in that well, and you can see this water is deep. We started off at I think it was like 160 some feet before, or almost 200 feet when we.
I did it again. This section of the well that the walls look vented. I guess that's a question, or she's wondering if it's
Yes.
vented.
It gets to a point where at 400 feet, we're in an area where the actual river makes connection to this well. And so now we have what appears as though is a vented well, where the river can flow into this cylinder, this well cylinder here. And the vents prevent any other particles, larger particles, wood particles, you name it, including, fish, if it's any in the river, from getting into the wells. So it is a filtration system to see this, the well grid itself, as we continue to go down, begin a filtering process. And so what we're seeing here is the river water isolating as many particles, the well itself isolating as many particles in the water from preventing them from getting into this well. But the breakdown of it is something, a sight to see at this point, because it's been such a buildup over a long period of time. Some of these wells have been built in the early 1900s, give or take, for the communities that are already south of this desert area that's down more toward I-10.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hello, Buddha. How are you? But yeah, you know what? Like, okay, so those pieces that are in there are so big. There's no way they could have been going through those vents. So somebody had to have been throwing that in there.
Yeah, especially if the well was not secured, the cover of the well was not secured during the time it was last checked. However, those pieces being in there, that's a violation. That shouldn't be there. None of what we're seeing should be in this well. That's for sure. Especially the man-made stuff, the pipe, the 2x4 black mold piece of wood, the brick or the substance that appears to look like a brick, and all that other stuff that we already passed. None of that should be in this well.
Sure shouldn't.
Yeah.
That looks sus as heck, too.
Yeah. But yeah, good question. Good question. But a lot of these wells that are connected out there in the Sonoran Desert that we're taking a look at was constructed and built in the early 1900s.
You actually got to the water surface. Then after that point, we're going straight down from the water surface down through the water. Now we're at 483 feet. So it goes a lot deeper than that. So it's amazing to even think that this well is very deep. So you throw something down in there and it sinks down in there. It goes down there far in the earth. So it's really far, and it's amazing that we put things down in there. But yes, that is water that is used for drinking. I have a question here for Don. Thank you so much again from Facebook being here. What is the width of that well? I didn't check the width, but I could tell you it's big enough for a person to fit in there, and that's the scary part. That's the reason why I'm searching it. It's the one that he was supposedly last seen. That one could be a little more questionable, as in the person can fit down in there. That would be more of a person being dismembered in some fashion to be able to get them down in there. This one, no, it's different. It's wider, and yeah, it's very wide enough for that kind of thing. I'd hate to think that way, but how to from an investigative standpoint. And yes, that's the reason why I'm more concerned about this well north than I am for the one they gave me and say this is where the well that is last seen. And I have reasons now after getting this footage to question the company, which I will have a meeting soon with them to verify that the well that they say they took me to was the well that my son was last seen. So I need to I have those meetings with them and get those kind of answers pretty soon. So thank you so much for your question, Don. All right. Again, my name is Dave Robinson. I'm the father of geologist Daniel Cornelius Robinson, who went missing on June 23rd. Today I'm doing a Q&A. I'm also showing you guys, while I'm doing the Q&A, showing you guys the footage of a well that had been searched on Monday. I did a total of 2 wells that day, and on the other 2 wells that was scheduled, 3 wells that was scheduled, 2 of them we just found out. Well, one is not a well itself, but I thought it was, and the other 2 were mines, actual mines that had to be searched. So we had to regroup, and hopefully maybe today or sometime this week to go down in those mines and get those checked too. So turned out they are mines instead of wells, and we'll get those searched. Again, my name is Dave Robinson, Father Geologist Daniel Cornelius Robinson, and we're doing a Q&A this morning. I have a question again from She Rose Nation. And do like She Rose Nation doing, ask you guys if you can put the word question there first, or put a letter Q, capital letter Q first before you ask your question. That way, when I go down the comment section, I actually can see your comments and your questions. It make it a whole lot easier for me. Right now, we're at 535 feet, and it's going to still go for a while. So sorry I'm late. You're not late. You're here on time, She Rose Nation. Thanks so much for being here. Did you ever find out what the white structure was in the other well that appeared to look like the top of a skull? And that's what I'm going down at now. I was really trying to get to this point for you guys, and I hope this video sustains itself as it is now, a lot clearer than it was the last time I took you guys down on the other video I did before, the Q&A I did before, showing you the same footage. This time I hope it's a little clearer. On my end, it's very clear. I'm sure on the feed it's a little fuzzier than it would be on my end. That's only because I'm streaming. But I would have that analyzed, She Rose Nation. I would have that analyzed by a professional, because yes, hindsight, on that day after I was out there on the ground, was trying to figure out what it was. That's why you saw the guy who kept bringing the camera back and forth. He was actually using the camera to try to move the dirt around down the bottom there to see what that is. That's whatever that structure is, whatever it was, to see if it indeed was a skull. We're talking about it. You guys, we have it on mute, so you guys didn't hear us talking or anything like that. But just to see what that was, couldn't really tell. So at the end, I'd assume it wasn't nothing until, like I said, I got home and looked at this footage again, and now I have questions. I have questions because it do like the top of a person's skull. The second reason is because of the fence post and everything that was thrown down there along with it, as if something was used as a weight to hold something down, and then everything else was put down in there as a cover up. You know what I'm saying? So that type deal is, like I said, if I take this footage and compare it to the other footage of the other well that I've searched, you'll see the well should be. It should be a straight shot, straight on down. How you're seeing right now, it should be wide open, straight down that well with no obstructions. You might see debris and stuff like that floating around because that's the settlements, but you should not see a pipe down in there. You should not see a fence post down in there. You shouldn't see certain things. So those are questionable. Those are questionable motives, that something may be there, somebody's trying to hide or try to sink and all kind of things. We know how people do. So thanks so much for your question. And we get down there, yes, that's one of the things I'm going to look at. Thank you, Gwen, again, for putting us up. Like, share, and subscribe. Please do so, you guys. That help the algorithm, help me get my get this out farther to more people. I really appreciate you guys if you can do that. Get the algorithm going, like I said, and so I can reach more people. That's the whole name of the game. Put my son's story out there a lot farther, and keep this thing going. So again, if you guys can come out tomorrow and help with the searches, I will be there at 7:45 tomorrow morning, Sunvale Parkway, Cactus Road. You can see that on the website. Give you direction how to get to the searches tomorrow morning. We'll be out there to roughly 12 o'clock noon, 12 o'clock noon. And, if you guys can do that, and also come out to the Candlelight Vigil, that would be at 6:30 tomorrow. If anybody that would like to pass out those flyers or distribute those flyers like we do every day, every Saturday on 3:15, moving that over to 6:15, and I'm having the location at the complex where we have the Candlelight Vigil. And if you guys want to just grab the flyers and take them with you, but I hope you stay for the Candlelight Vigil. That's what I really need you there for. And if or if you want to help pass them out at the Candlelight Vigil, that would help out too. So we need those numbers. We need people to show up at the Candlelight Vigil. If you can't make the searches on tomorrow, I hope you can. Rather for you definitely be at this Candlelight Vigil. If you can't make the desert search tomorrow morning, I'd rather you be here at the Candlelight Vigil for tomorrow, because I need those numbers to make the statement. And I'll be a speaker. We have a couple other speakers that would be there, And what we need to bring some light and shed some light into my son's case. It's been almost 9 months since he's been missing. Like I said, I have yet to see the action that I would like to see in my son's case and taking it serious. My son's been missing almost 9 months, and they need to take this serious. Thank you for your questions that you have. Again, thank you for Sarah for being here, Sarah Moore. The question is, David, is your son the type to speak out if he knew or saw something wrong, or did he avoid these types of confrontations? No, my son is exactly that. Yeah, he's an outspoken guy. If he was raised that way. He was raised that way by myself and his mother. All of them. They're raised that way. You see something wrong, you speak about it. It's almost like John Lewis would say, the late John Lewis say, you see something wrong, say something. He didn't say something, and you do. You know what I'm saying? That's my son. He stood up for what he feels is right. My son even done a Black Lives Matters protest. He did an interview. I'm very proud of him. He's standing up against police brutality. We all know that's a big problem in this country. I have scars on my body to this day from childhood from police brutality when I was a kid. So, stand up for what's right and get things taken care of. So, that's my son. Yes, he will stand up for what's right. But he's very respectful. But he's also going to stand up for what's right, and he will do that. So yes, that's his nature. He's not a person to sit there and see something that's wrong is happening and don't speak out. He will say something. So yes, thank you so much for your question. All right, I have a question again. I wish I could say your name, but thank you so much for being here from Brooklyn. I guess it's like that's for Brooklyn. So thank you so much for being here, Brooklyn Cord Cutters TV. I believe that's how you say that. So thank you so much for being here. The question: do you think somebody threw that in there? Oh yes, of course. Their mind's supposed to be clear. Everything that's in there, somebody put in there. It definitely shouldn't have any all that stuff in there. So yes, somebody put something in there. The reason why, I don't know. And that's what I'm trying to find out. And that's what I'm looking for. Right now we're at 709 feet in that well, and it's going to keep going. So while I'm doing so, guys, I'm trying to answer your question as much as possible. Put the word question there first, and then your question. I have one from Shauna B. Thank you so much for being here this morning. I really appreciate everything you're doing. Question: is there a copy of the police report for viewing on the Buckeye Police Department website? I haven't been able to find it. Do they leave each version up, or just their updated one? Okay, so I can say it like this. I don't know what Buckeye doing with their report. I haven't been on their site. I don't know what they have up there currently, but I do know when other people ask me questions, like on these podcasts and things like that, ask questions. They ask questions, tell me something that's on the report that I didn't even know. And the reason why is because I got tired of after I seen about the third report, and I saw some things they put in. Is first of all, things like, oh, the father said his son was in love with a woman he didn't know. That's falsehood. I did not ever say that to that police department, and that's something I wouldn't say to them because it's not true. My son has never said that to me. He never has expressed that to me. So why they want to keep that narrative like that, I do not know. So those are falsehoods. Some other falsehoods that was my daughter was upset about, that was said about her in that report, and that's falsehoods. So, and also the thing is, so I got tired. I got tired of some of the stuff I seen in the report. They originally, when they told me they had no more, and the crazy part about it, I have a clip from the news clip. They tried to delete that. Once they realized that they said this, they put it out, what they was doing, and they realized that it became national and that everybody was asking questions. They deleted their post. When it came out officially, it said they had no more leads to follow in my son's case, and that this case was over. They gave me all my son's things. Think about this now. But then they try to delete it. You can't delete nothing off Facebook. I have a copy of that. I had to go get it through one of my media contacts. But I was able to get that as my evidence for later on. These guys said they had no more leads to follow, and it was done my son's case, right? They was done my son's case. They gave me a report in that meeting that I had with Chief Hall and Chief Sanders and everybody else. They gave me a partial report. And then on that same meeting, he said, hey, I'm going to give you a full report. We're going to finish writing it up. We finished now writing this report up. And all this is a recorded meeting. We're going to finish writing this report up, and we're going to give you the copy. The ending report, right? The final report. This is the full report they were going to give me. And they did that. Matter of fact, the reports that I have, they both are unredacted reports. it's done. It was done deal, right? I kept this thing going. That's not satisfied with me. I'm out here looking for my son. Now they're coming up with all these different reports. Everything they hear me say on the podcast. Chad Biff, I know you listening now. Told me they listen.
Leanne says, I think asking the circumference of that well was a good idea. If Daniel was placed in there vertically, how much space between him and the walls would there be?
Good question, Leanne. Very good question. All depends on how wide Daniel's shoulders would be. Some of these well cylinders, or the diameter of the well, could be anywhere between 4 to 6 feet wide in diameter. And so it wouldn't be nothing to have someone vertically placed in here. If they were lowered, that would be one thing, to make sure that they didn't get stuck somehow. We're talking about a physical human body with legs and moving arms and things of that nature. Just as we saw that piece of wood stuck horizontally from one side to the other, that's how a person can get caught up in here, especially in the area where the well becomes more and more rigid. Okay. But predominantly 4 to about 6 feet in diameter, some of these well water cylinders are. So it really wouldn't be nothing to, have someone lowered in here, and that's it. But once again, good thing that, during the time of this videotaping, he wasn't found in here per se, or anything that resembled a body down here. There are, items in here that still needs to be forensically checked. We're almost there too at the 700 and I think it's 980 feet. Then we'll be able to see the actual bottom of the well.
Right.
However, it would not prevent anyone from being in this well cylinder, to say the least, because it is wide enough for a person to fall down here and get caught up in here somehow. And with the water too, because water is an element, along with the bacteria, to begins breaking down skin, bones, and things of that nature, to where things just start to float down to the bottom. You see, so we have to keep in mind that there are microbials, bacterial elements in this well that will start to eat away at anything that's in there, whether it be metal, pipe, wood, you name it.
Right.
So good question, Leanne.
Right. Hello, Blue Devil. Hello, Donald Duck. How are you guys?
Donald Duck is in the house. All right.
Donald
Blue
Duck is
Devil's in the house. Very good. We got Brooklyn Cord Cutters in the house too.
Yes. Thank you, Brooklyn. Thank you for coming in. Okay, so we'll go ahead and see how much further this goes.
What I say on these public events and stuff like that. And I noticed that when I hear things, feedback from what's on the report now, it's always mimic what I'm talking about, in public. So yes, in my opinion, it's about covering themselves up right now, and that's what they're doing. So as in the report part, I don't know what they have up there now. Stop keeping up. My opinion, it feels like they have probably 5 reports now. Just to realign and write things. I can tell you, I was going through with Miss Q, her podcast, and was going through the report. And I'm looking at the original report they gave me versus the one they come out, the new one they have now. You can see how they changed some sentences and things like that, the wording and this and that. And, I call that falsifying reports. That's what I call it. So I do have those, and I have to match those things up. And that's what they do. They got caught before. Also, this department, Chief Hall got suspended for a bad
Look how
report.
disgusting that looks.
Falsifying.
Yeah, because we're getting deeper.
That's what they do. That's what that department
to the base of the
I-
well. We're getting deeper to the base of the well. The further deeper you get into the well, you will have more sediment, more microbial particles. You'll start to see the water start to cloud up. And usually when you have cloud indication down deep in a well, we are 800 feet now. So we're short 180 feet from the bottom. We're almost there. But now you're going to start to see fog, thicker sediment. You're going to see more and more well deterioration as well.
Okay. Hello,
So-
Tanya. Hello. Mm-hmm.
Yes, hello for everybody coming in and joining us. So so we're
So watch
almost
out for
here to the bottom.
that kind of stuff. So I don't know what they have, what that police department have, and right now, just keep what I have and go with that. Thank you again. Like, share, and subscribe. I really appreciate it. If you guys can join us tomorrow.
It looks like sorry. It looks like you could chisel stuff off of there. That's how thick and nasty it looks.
Oh yeah, and if you could imagine, if you did chisel any of that stuff off, how cloudy and dark the water would become. And as you can see, there is, if you will, this moldy kind of substance on the walls of the well. Those are microbial growth substance, from the water being flat, also by those items being in the water. This begins to start to eat away and deteriorate what's there.
Yeah.
And this is what it looks like.
That's so gross.
I know it is.
Leanne said, I think you could, but I'm not sure if it would break the walls. It might break the walls with it being that nasty and that old.
Yeah, these walls would crack if something had a sharp impact, a hammer, a chisel. It would just chip away like potato chips.
Yeah, like as if it's rotted, like dry rotting.
Yeah.
But instead, it's not dry; it's wet and it's rotting inside the well.
Right.
Ugh.
Yep.
The queuing at the Candlelight Vigil, I need those numbers for things like this. It's frustrating as a father. It's frustrating as a family to have all this. Mind you, if I wasn't the kind of father I am and just would have walked away, this falsehood would have been in those reports, and you guys would have read that, and we moved on to something else in life. But I'm a father that's not going to allow that, and I'm fighting really hard to prevent that. So thank you guys for being by my side and helping out. Okay, I have Don again. Thank you so much for being on here every morning from Facebook. I really appreciate you. Is the FBI involved? Sound like the same police in the Prince investigation in Minnesota. I'm not familiar with the investigation in Minnesota, but I can tell you that the FBI is not involved, as far as I understand, as far as I know. I did hear some little hints that the FBI had asked one of the guys who's a subject in my son's case, a matter, had called him and, asked some questions. But as in terms of having them being part of the case, no one came to me and said that they're not, as far as I'm concerned, part of this case. I was told personally by the Buckeye Police Department that the FBI, Chief Hall said he was going to get a case review because I requested the FBI. Had a striking letter to them proving the point that my son was missing in a crime scene. That whole desert area out there where they're going to build this community is a crime scene. Where you see this well right here is a crime scene, this area. And my son went missing in it. So the letter spoke for itself. He had to agree. I used some of the words that he used on CNN. He had agreed to bring in bring in a case review. He said he's going to ask for a case review. My attorney is right then. As soon as we got that information from him, that letter, email from him, she sent an email back. We sent an email back, then requesting to be a part of that case review when he get it. And if they don't want her involved because she's an attorney, I need to be there because I'm his father. I need to be there part of that case review. Chief Hall decided to do this, according to his detective, to do this case review on his own in secret, away from me as a father who's been here since June 26th. And in that case, he didn't come out as the man to tell me himself. He had his deputy to call his investigator, detective to call me and said that, hey, look, they're not going to come into your son's case because you Mr. Rouse, as a father, is doing such a great job. If FBI feel like you're doing such a great job, they don't need to come in. I'm doing such a great job on my own. And that sounds ridiculous to me. So yes, that's definitely a problem. And so I'm dealing with that. Dealing with that. Again, my name is Dave Robinson, father geologist Daniel Cornelius Robinson, with this on June 23rd. I'm here doing a Q&A. If you guys have questions, please put the word question.
Miss Yunu, I think you might be on mute.
I am on mute and I'm talking
Okay.
about everybody what they said.
Okay.
I always do that. It's a habit from muting myself. So Donald Duck said the police in this case, enrage me because negligence is an understatement of how this case was handled. Exactly. They dropped
Yeah.
the ball.
I agree. I agree fully.
So badly.
You know,
They dropped it.
it's a very laid back police department, and they wanted to write it off as just an incident that had occurred and nothing more, nothing less. You know, not the fact that they came across a Jeep vehicle that was on its right side, crashed out in the middle of nowhere in a 20-foot ravine with someone's clothes laid out 3 feet away from it, along with shoes, socks, underwears, pants, shirt, work vest,
Right.
and nothing else suspicious.
Yeah.
Deployed airbags, all 7 of them in the vehicle were deployed,
Yeah.
but nothing suspicious.
And nothing suspicious, right? But okay, so it was put to my attention that, and I mean I knew about it, but it never dawned on me to think, I asked this question. But well, when you're sitting in the car and your airbags, and it says your airbags is there's a word for it. One, it's either on or it's off, but there's a word for it. So when you're sitting in the seat, it's like it puts weight, so it lets it know to turn on the airbags.
Yeah,
That's
that would
why
be
the one that's
that would be called the pressure
disabled
sensor
and
to the
able.
seat.
Right. So
Yeah.
they disable it, and it's abled when you sit in the seat.
Right.
So if it's able, that means that there was pressure, heavy enough pressure for the airbags to go off. They don't just go off when there's no one sitting next in that seat that the airbags were gone. They went off like on all the way around the car. So that means that there was somebody in that front seat, or there was something heavy enough to hold that down like that. So that's what makes me wonder, what the heck does Ben know, or whoever knows? You know what I'm saying? It just makes me wonder.
Yeah.
Just saying,
Yeah,
also
too, it would all depend on the make and model that those pressure sensors on the seats would be equipped in. Daniel was driving a 2017 Jeep Renegade, and we haven't checked the specifications to see whether there are pressure sensors in the driver or the passenger seat. However, for that kind of a situation to be, you would think that there would be pressure sensors there because the airbags are there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely. And Leanne said, I think it's multiple crime scenes. So she's saying inside.
Oh, without a doubt. Without a doubt. I mean, look at what Mr. Robinson is doing. There are 32 wells in the area where Daniel's Jeep had crashed. There are well over a dozen different mines, and these are horizontal mines, vertical mines, also in that area. There is one mine that is a vertical mine, and that's the mine that holds a tractor tire on top of it. And I said, out of all the locations, out of all the different places that you would go to, whether it's a well or a mine, why
Mhm.
does this one have a tractor tire
Right.
on top of it that has broken through the cover of it? And it's about it could be anywhere between 6, 8, 1,200 feet deep,
Mhm.
all depending. Why
Right.
that one? And so
Yeah.
that's why I had encouraged David. I said, whatever you do, David, get that tire off that mine and check it, because that is a red flag.
Yeah. And
And it's
then
been bothering me since.
right, and then on the side of that mine is the like where the tire is on the sides, you can see it on the ground, like inside on the sand. It looks like it's dry rotted, so it had to been there, like it had to been an old tire that they put up there, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So not, I mean, not so old that it can't be 9 months or it can't be 8 months or whatever, but
Yeah.
it's definitely old enough to have been sitting in the desert and getting dry rotted the way it did. It had been
Yeah.
there for a little bit. It
It's
didn't just get put there. It didn't just get put there for sure.
right. But you see, one thing, Mr. Robinson is doing his due diligence,
Yes, he is.
and all of what he's doing is recorded.
Yes,
And
thank God.
not only for this well, but the wells he is going to check,
Yes.
as well as the mine that has that tractor tire covering it,
Mhm.
which is the next phase. If they didn't do it today, it will eventually be done shortly.
Yes.
And then we'll have the answers to that, because
Yes.
that mine that has that tire on it is a big red flag.
Yeah. He
you know.
definitely needs to get funded for that, because I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure it's going to take some money to do that.
Either one of two things. It was placed there to keep someone from getting out,
Mm-hmm.
and also placed there possibly to prevent people from getting in.
Right. One or the other. It's
Yeah.
scenario 1 or scenario 2.
Right. Right. And that's what he has to check ASAP right away.
Yeah. Donald Duck said, I believe Daniel met with foul play because of the evidence left on at the car. I mean, he must be meaning the Jeep. I keep calling it car too, but it is a Jeep.
Yeah.
But the detectives are just like, he's fine and living living in the desert somewhere. SMDH. Shaking my head.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
I feel you on that one.
yeah. And obviously, you would think that yourself.
Mhm.
The detectives really didn't care. They didn't want to do any further research than than what was there. They didn't make too much of it, and just wanted it to go away. It was just a typical incident that happened in the desert,
Yeah.
and they didn't want to take the time out to put the pieces together,
Right.
to put out an endangered missing person.
Right. And he also said, yeah, it doesn't make sense unless he suffered a head injury. Those 12 hours when the police could have been searching are 12 hours that could have had made a tremendous difference in the case.
A big
100%.
difference, yes.
Oh,
Mhm.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they sit on their butts too much, really. Them and their donuts and coffee, allegedly. Even though I believe that that's what it is. She said the desert is a bit cold at night. Daniel would know that I disbelief that he stripped his clothes off himself. Yeah, no, I don't know. I don't get that part either. Sorry. Leanne said, yeah, but there's a sensor you can hit in front of the Jeep that could induce the airbags too. We need to find that out, because I've been wondering that. We
There are
definitely need to call and
sensors.
find out.
Yeah, there are sensors all around the Jeep. When you're talking about the exterior of it,
Right.
Obviously the front is going to be covered, side doors are going to be covered, the back rear end is going to be covered. So if we're talking about external sensors, yeah,
Right.
most definitely. Internal sensors, such as the seats or the door panels, of any kind, the dashboard, the floorboards, the rocker panels on the side, could have all sensory equipment attached to them that could also deploy those airbags as well.
Right. Hello, boss man.
Boss
Yeah.
man is in the house.
She said, have they got to that one yet? Have they gotten to what? The well?
The one that we're talking about with the tire.
I'm wondering. Which one are you talking about, Leanne? 40 times. Okay. Let's see what else we got. So if you guys do have any kind of extra funding that you can spare, please go to the GoFundMe for Daniel at pleasehelpfinddaniel.com. Grab the link. The bot's putting it in there for you, and it's simple as 1, 2, 3, and then you can just send a little money, or you can go to his Cash App. It's money sign. Please help Daniel. Please help find Daniel.com. Like I'm always putting the .com. There's no .com. Please help find Daniel with the first letters all capitalized. That's for the father's Go Cash App. Tanya says, I pray that God continues to keep Mr. David Robinson strong and safe as he continues his journey to find his son, Daniel Robinson. In Jesus' name, I pray. Amen. Amen.
Yes.
100%.
Yes, Tanya. Yes.
Yeah,
And
Leanne,
to go back to Leanne's question, yes, they have located that mine. We thought it was a well,
okay.
but upon closer examination, it is a mine, and it's a vertical mine. Usually the mines are horizontal in place, but this one is a vertical mine, and for the sheer reason that there is a tractor tire on top of it indicates, I mean, anyone, what the hell's that all about?
Right.
But, if you're taking a look at it from an investigative point of view, it's a red flag because someone's missing it, and yet you find something that's being covered up, locked over, blocked to where someone wouldn't even think about looking in this particular area at all, because it's got this big, huge structure that's blocking it. So no need to check that, because who would think about going over here in this particular area, knowing that there's an obstruction there. But that's where you check. That's where you check.
Exactly.
Yeah. So they are in the process of having that mine checked, Leanne. So keep your fingers crossed.
Yes. They were asking about the time on the candlelight. So it's at 7:30 Central, you guys, because that's what it shows on my end. Is that correct? 7:30 and then 8:30 your time, right? Eastern?
Right.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay. Okay, let's go ahead and go with the video, and then we'll go back to the questions.
Question at first, and the question at first, and then followed by your question. I have one from my battle buddy. We served in Afghanistan together. A real true friend of mine, not just a friend, but like a brother and everything else. Thank you, Racine, for being here. Again, every time I see your name, it makes me smile. I'm really happy to see you. I wish we can meet again and see each other in person again. Miss you, brother. Miss you from our times when we was in Texas. Okay, are you using drones? Yes, the best ability. We have people donate their time with their drones. The drones that I do need, though, with certain capabilities that we don't have. Those are things that I'm stressing and really trying to work hard on getting to this date. But like I said, I'm cutting back on fundings now because I have to try to gain money for to get the forensics work done. I do have the phone get done, but everything else had to get done. So one piece at a time now, because I have to try to make sure I have the funding sparely, use the funding sparely to keep the searches going, keep everything I'm doing now going, because I don't know how long my son's gonna be missing. So right now I don't have the drones the type of drones that I really need to be more effective out there in the desert. But we do have people come out with their drones. I even purchased a drone for the search, which is one of the Mavics, and so we can I can fly over the terrain. Like when we're doing line searches, I send the drone out before us, to make sure there's no dangers out there. Because people on the ground, we walking and try to go ahead of us sometimes. Just little things like that. Also go back later and actually do a search from the footage. So things like that. So we do utilize drones out in searches. So thank you for those questions and thank you for being here, sir. I really appreciate it. All right, thank you again, you all, for your questions. I have one from Loretta D. Thanks again for being here. Question: where can I find the live stream of the Candlelight Vigil? You'll find it here. I will put that link out. I should have put that out earlier, but I put it out today. I put the link on the website for the live stream, and I put the link. Well, I'm sorry. No. That link is for people who are actually going to be doing the streaming. But it would be here on this channel. So if you come back on this channel at 6:30 tomorrow, you can watch it. You can watch it here. I think, if I'm not mistaken, John Q on his channel, he would be live streaming also. Miss Q should be out there doing a live stream with their camera. So you got a lot of ways you can watch it from this channel, and also I think Gizla K from Grizzly True Crime, she'll be handling the live streams from my channel here. This channel, Please Help Find Daniel. And she may also be streaming from her channel. Again, I said also that you guys can watch it off of John Q. So of that stream. So thank you so much for that. Yes, there'll be those ways you can watch it. But if you guys can come in person, I really need you out there. We need those numbers, and I understand the ones that's in a different state, things like that. I understand your position. If you guys are here in Arizona or close by, if you can in any kind of way be here, that would definitely help out. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for your comment. We're getting down to the bottom right here to this well, so I'm also getting to the bottom of this Q&A. But right here we're at 929 feet down in that well. Thank you, Shauna, for your prayers, and I really appreciate it. God bless you too, and thank you for everything you do. I really appreciate you. Thank you so much. We're at the bottom of this well at 931 feet down in this well. It's very deep. As you see the little sides there, that's where the water is able to come in from the river, the underground river that runs through, that flows. But that is where you see all this buildup and this stuff. So he's doing a well inspection of this well, at the same time giving me the ability to go down in this well and search this well. So we got a little ways to go, a little bit more, but we're getting down to this well. It should have been clear all the way down. When I say clear, there should be no obstruction. There shouldn't have been that wood structure. There shouldn't have been a fence post that we about to see and all this other stuff down there on the bottom as well. And but it's there. For my opinion, it could be for a reason. I'm checking into that. And when you guys get down there, I think this foot is a little more clearer than it was before. You can see what I see. You can see that right there. That's coming up to a structure of something, fence post. So that's down there, and something else down there. Could be used as weights to hold something down. And that's what I'm looking at from an investigative standpoint and from a suspicious standpoint. So you guys can see where I'm at on that part, then you understand. Thank you so much for thank you for everything you're doing. Gizla, if you can let me know the other ways also about the streaming. At Loretta D, it is on the home page of this channel. Here's the link. Thank you so much for that, and I will put that link again on the Twitter page. I'll put it on the Facebook, and I believe Gizla, I think she'll have it on Gizla Gwen. Y'all have it on the Instagram page. So, and I'll also try to make sure I get it on TikTok and things like that. So we have the link there for you guys to live stream this Candlelight Vigil tomorrow. But that's right there. What you see right there is a fence post. And why would a person put that down there? You already know that a fence post has this one has a cement on the other end, the end that's down on the bottom, that's facing down. So that's a fence post there. Whoever put that in there first, that's the first thing they put down in there. Then they put the wood structure there. Then they put the pipe there. So you see the cement part there, and trying to figure out, actually that's the post part that goes where the fence actually connects to the other side of the fence. But anyway, that came sliding down. But anyway, it shouldn't be down there. None of that stuff should be there. Around that well is a fence that was kind of, I now understand why that fence is kind of torn. the way it is, and it's missing that pole. So that's where the pole is. On the ground level, you'll see that pole missing from that fence, and that's where now know where it's at and why, and what reason why it's down there. But when you go farther down, he's gonna go even further down that pole, because we're wondering why that pole is there, why that fence pole and all the other structures that we passed by just to get to the bottom of this well, which we're at 949 feet right now. We actually bear the question. So thank you so much, Shauna B, again, for your prayers and things like that. I really appreciate it. We need all the prayers we can get. If you have a question, thanks so much for asking those questions. I have a question here from 12-Step Woman. Are those filters shown there that need replacing? I'm not a well expert, but I think that's normal, the way it looks. Those filters, I know people looking at it and say, oh, we drink this water, yeah. But that's normal. According to him, that's called sediments. Those sediments usually fall down to the bottom. The water that you actually get to drink, they had the pumps close up to the top. And so all the sediments usually stays down there where it belongs. And, they have the water coming up from that point. So higher up at a higher level. So, I try to learn a little bit more about these wells, but I'm not the expert on that. But yes, it is the water that he used for drinking. But right now he had to wait till the sediment stopped. He kind of brushed aside and all that stuff from the side started falling. So he's trying to wait till it clear out a little bit so we can go down there and see a little farther. But that's the fence post where it ends at. It goes down and it stops right there on the bottom of this well. Okay. Thank you, New, for putting this up so much. A Candlelight Vigil win is tomorrow afternoon at the House of Senate lawn in Arizona State Capitol. You guys can come out there, 1700 West Washington Street. It's right there down in Phoenix. So thank you so much for Unique for putting that up. Again, this is footage from a well that I have searched on Monday. These are some of the things that was pushed down in that well, trying to figure out the reason why. He's trying to wait till some of that stuff settle a little bit. But what he's doing is trying to take that camera down to the bottom itself, but he had to navigate around some of these structures that's there. One is a fence post. I'm trying to figure out why is that. And then when you get down the bottom, if this feed stay clear as it is now, it's a little more clear on my end than yours. But you'll see something there that make you question. I just want to kind of have your idea. One of the people here in the comment section alluded to it already. And, like I said, I'm going to have that analyzed by professionals who can tell me exactly what that is on the bottom. It's kind of covered up by the sediment, the dirt that's down there. And as far as I know, dirt could have been put there. If you see this little white spot on your screen, it looks like a bit light there, but it's not a real light. It's actually something that would almost mimic something there. So we saw that with the light shining off of it. We talked about it. He's trying to navigate the camera to get there. First of all, that little area that you see, that shouldn't have been there. The pipe, the fence pipe shouldn't have been there. A lot of stuff shouldn't be down there on the bottom. And if you look at the once you navigate the camera over, there's a starlight type of lighting system. There it goes, came up now. He was able to put some more light there to better see what's going on. So he's putting things on the side. He still got to do his little structure for the report. And then he's going to also start going back down again and try to see what that little area that I'm telling you guys, would you look at, I want you to check it out and see what that is. But this is some of that bacteria, I'll tell you, that would eat up metal. So he had to show that. But that's the fence post that you see there coming up now. That shouldn't be down there. Of course, that's the side walls of the well itself. And, all the stuff that grows on it. Very not so nice looking. But that's what goes on with that. So anyway, he's going to keep going on down, looking down on that well, going down view. And like I said, if you keep your eyes on this one area, the little spot there, it's going to almost look like a light at first, but you'll see it's something else buried by the dirt that's down there. I'm going to ask questions about these wells, learn a bit more about these wells, if that dirt should have been there in the first place. Maybe somebody dumped a lot of dirt down in there. But, I'm going to ask all those kind of questions and have an expert to look at this one area that I'm hoping after a while you guys can see what I'm talking about. Again, my name is Dave Rouse, the father of geologist Daniel Cornelius Rouse, who was missing on June 23rd, out here doing a Q&A to bring awareness. and to answer some of your questions. Today I'm doing a little video of a well that I had searched, and give you a little idea of how the wells are searched for one thing, and also what we found, what's been found since we've been down in that well. Hindsight, I thought nothing was there. Wondering why these structures are there, why this fence post is there. But later on, you can see the bottom of that well now. But later on, looking at this footage again, I saw something there significant, and I want to have it analyzed and looked at. So he's clearing the camera up right now. This camera has the ability to focus in different ways, and he's trying to get it. We're trying to get it navigated where the camera's turned around to a different place, and then look at this one spot that's questionable, because you see the end of that pole going down in the dirt. That suggests that that pole is like whatever the bottom of that pole with the cement area is buried, right? So there had to be so much dirt put on that to bury that fence post, buried down in the dirt. So whatever's on the end of that fence post, whether that's the cement, is under the dirt, if you get what I'm saying. We do see something peeking out from the dirt that suggests something's buried, but we don't know what that something is. So he's trying to navigate the camera to take a look at it at the bottom. And once we get it navigated, you will see, and there'll be something there that will give you the impression that, in my opinion, and I'm just gonna go ahead and say this, appeared to me to be a skull on the top half of a person's skull. As you know, so if something is in the water that long, human flesh would dissolve. So, I'm praying it's not anything related to my son, but I'm going to have a professional look at it and at this footage and determine if that is indeed the top of a human skull. You can see it kind of coming into the camera now. We see that he's going to try to navigate around it. He's trying to focus in on it now. If you guys can look at that beginning of it, when you get down to the other side of it, then you can see it a lot better. But you see it there under this 970 right there, numbers there. That's the little area that I'm looking at right there.
Look right here. This is what appears to be a skull right here.
He was trying his best to move the dirt if he could from that area, but it was very hard to do so, trying to navigate that. So, all right, I have a question here from Sophia. Were there any tools Daniel uses in his job that requires gas? I'm asking because Daniel's got gas in the amount of $3.87, which was equal to the exactly 1 gallon was the gas can found. I don't know why that charge is on his count is weird to me too. If somebody had anything to do with my son disappearing, yeah, they would go to the gas point and say, oh yeah, he went to gas, but why did he put that amount? That's not, like you said, if that's a exact amount of gallons, I haven't checked that accuracy, but why he put a little bit of gas in there, I couldn't, it still stuns me. I tried to ask the Buckeye Police Department. Everything I asked for this police department in the past, they conveniently, in my opinion, the way they do it, I say it this way for a reason, they can't do it. They can't get his camera footage. They can't conveniently get him riding down the interstate road with his car ever. They can't get cell phone pings. They can't get, everything is that they can't do. They can't do. I asked for some footage of that proved that my son would actually use his card at this gas pump. We can't get it. And they say, oh, we got this Waffle House thing though. Anything that goes to their story about my son is kind of something, had something going on before he went missing. The boast of that story, yeah, the lady at the Waffle House said he was acting strange and odd, or whatever case may they had put in their report. And I said, okay, well, let me see this footage. Oh, we got the footage of your son. We got this video footage. And when I asked for it, they conveniently can't give me the video footage, but they gave me still pictures saying that this image that I see is my son at this Waffle House. So, things like that. So I don't know what's going on with this, but I'm still getting to the bottom of it. Like I told you guys before, I rule nothing out. I'm not accusing anybody of anything, but at the same time, I don't rule anything out. So I'm looking at every angle, every possible angle, until I find out what happened to my son. So, those are questions. Everything's questionable to me, and I really hold those questions to my heart. But I want you guys to see the bottom of that well. We're there now. We couldn't figure out what that structure was. I'm going to have it analyzed, and he's going to start pulling that camera back out. It's a long journey, of course, back out of that well. But thank you guys for coming in on this Q&A, answering these questions, asking these questions. You guys have more questions, please put a Q there. I'm almost finished my time. I have a little over less than 10 minutes left before I have to get off. I have, as you can imagine, a busy day. I have to get the searches going for tomorrow morning, and also, get ready for this Candlelight Vigil tomorrow afternoon.
Okay, so we're going to answer the rest of the questions, and John's going to have to go set up for his live for the Candlelight Vigil. So he got to get something to eat. I know he's going to want something to eat before he, heads on his live.
Yeah.
Question 12 Step said, was the abdometer checked for manipulation?
That information came in with the crash report and was also made part of the police report. So part of the information that we're still looking into is based on the first private investigator's final report, and it would have that information on there. So Mr. Robinson is still waiting for that final summation of the crash report from the first investigator.
Okay. And let's see. Okay, so the candlelight is going to be at 8:30. I'm sorry, 6:30 our time, 7:30. Wait, 7:30, right? Yeah, 7:30 Eastern, 6:30 Central, and let me see.
It'll
so
be 8:30 Eastern.
Eastern. 8:30 Eastern.
We're
7:30
2 hours
here?
ahead. We're 2 hours ahead of Arizona time, and for you, it'll just be an hour.
Yeah,
I think it's an hour behind. Yeah.
Right. So it'll be 7:30 for my
Right.
time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why I keep thinking 6:30. That's got to be over there in California time, right? So that would be 5:30 for them. California time, 5:30.
Yeah, 5:30 for California time,
And
6:30 Arizona time, and then
Right.
8:30 Eastern time.
Gotcha. There you go. Sorry about the mishap there. I'm all over the place when it comes to timing. All right, let's see. So you guys, if you guys have any, extra money laying around, go put it on the GoFundMe or send it to the Cash App for Daniel, David's account. That would be money sign, please help find Daniel. All capital letters for the very first letter of every word. Daniel did not just disappear. Exactly, he didn't just disappear. I don't believe that at all. Let's see. 6:30. Okay, so 6:30 Mountain, like John Q said. Question from 12. 12, you got a lot of questions. Thank you for your questions, sweetie. She says, your perspective, Daniel, black man hired for a specific reason, if you get my drift. Oh, is that an assumption? I'm pretty sure we all know that one. Let's see. Oh, question. There we go. Another question. Meeting and dressing. Okay. So Donald Duck says, to make things clear, to other high-profile cases happened around the exact same time. Gabby Petito, pretty white blonde girl, and Summer Wells, 5-year-old white little girl with blonde hair and blue eyes. Yeah, we get it. We get what you're saying.
Yeah, we get it.
Yep, we get it. We get it.
Yeah. And just to make a point of that, comment. When I did the Summer Wells case on my channel, I had nearly 1,000 people on my channel when I covered it. Now that I do the Daniel Robinson case or the West Boys case, those numbers are nowhere near the Summer Wells numbers that I was doing.
That's
And
crazy.
so I picked up on that too. You know, there are certain folks that I guess have a certain preference for things.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's unfortunate.
Yeah. She said, and 12 said, same case scenario with Jelani Day missing before Gabby. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's unfortunate. That's
Yeah.
very unfortunate.
She said, I'm saving my anger for the guilty ones. 100. And make sure if you guys have not signed a petition, you go sign the petition. It's so easy. All you need is an email and your first and last name, and you can even go anonymous. So either way. David Robinson is still serving our country. Yes, he is. He did serve the country. He's retired, correct?
Yes.
Yes. Leanne says, I'm wondering if they have the scope to go down like this. And when they check the water for different chemicals, they use certain dyes and chemicals to react. Or is it retract? No, it's react. Interact. Even certain lighting would we be? Sorry. Maybe she has another part to it. Or would we be able to test for human decomposition, suing the scope using special colored lighting and chemicals? That's her question.
Oh, that's a big question.
Yeah.
They should test the water for decomposition, human decomposition.
She said that looks like a fire hydrant. No, that's not. Shh, Lola. Quiet, mama. I wonder if she's talking about that white pole, the pole.
Yeah, there was an item structure down in there that did give the appearance that it was some kind of a hydrant pump type structure, but I'm sure that they took some very careful pictures once that sediment cleared to be sure that they can identify what that is down there.
Let's see. And then Leanne says, I wonder if that's two things together up there. It's a possibility. So many possibilities, but we'll find out when he finds out.
Mm-hmm. Because out of what we saw tonight, based on this well, there will be a written well inspections report, and I believe that they're going to make it available to Mr. Robinson, and they're going to let in that report they're going to specify what their findings were. So once he's able to get that report, we'll know exactly what they were able to locate, and tell us a whole lot more about the structure, the integrity, the water that was tested, everything.
Okay. Let's see. She says, if it's a skull, is it from a? And she said, is it from a black man? She's not really asking a question. She's just making a statement.
Making a comment.
Yeah.
Well, if it is, and they're able to obtain it and have it checked for DNA, we'll soon know.
Oh, he said Mr. Robinson just posted another video on the second well. Did he? Boy, he's been busy
Yeah,
today.
that was probably checked earlier.
Yeah. Brooklyn Cutters TV, he did. She said he did. She's asking him. Thanks, Brooklyn Cutter TV. Did you see it yet? Wonder if it's one of his longer ones or a short video. Because it has to be an upload, right? Because I don't think he would do a live when he's getting ready to do what he's, with the vigil and everything going on.
Mm-hmm.
Octavia said, wow. Hello, welcome in, Octavia. Did you just sneak on us? Did you sneak up in here? The poor guy wakes up at the crack of dawn and do Q&A before he goes back out searching. Yeah, exactly. He's a busy man.
Very.
That's why, like, if I call to ask a question, if he doesn't call right, I mean, if he doesn't answer the phone, he always calls me back. It's just when he's not, I understand he's a busy person, so I don't say, he's not calling me back or he's not answering my call. No, I don't do that. I know he's a busy person.
Yeah, we have a specific time that David and I talk.
Oh, okay.
And sometimes it'll be for 30 minutes and then sometimes it'll be for an hour, give or take, based on the information that we're sharing with each other back and forth. But one thing for sure, before I go, it is a new development in the case regarding Daniel's phone. It has been sent out to a digital forensics company to be analyzed, and there will also be a cloud extraction as well. So once they're through with that, it does take anywhere between 15 to 20 hours to process. And then a written report based upon the analysis and the cloud extraction will be given to Mr. Robinson to aid him in his private personal investigation. That's going to tell us a lot about the timeline on the 23rd. Also, more than that, it'll tell us more of the timeline before that. All of the activity of Daniel's phone since the time he went missing. And once he has that information put down on the table, next to the police report that he's received from the Buckeye Police Department, then he's able to see what they were able to do versus what they didn't do, specify that in the family report he's been talking about, and also give us additional information as to what we still need to do in order to make sure that everything has been checked properly.
Right. 12 has a question. She said, CM could do another fundraiser like he promised. Sensorization disgusts me. Yeah, I'm not even going to talk about that. I'm not talking about that. I'm not doing there. I'm not going down that hole. Anyway, GoFundMe. You guys, if you guys have a little extra money, like I said, the bot put that up there for you guys to grab and go put a little something in that GoFundMe, or if you can go to the Cash App, money sign, please help find Daniel. Please help find Daniel with the first letters of each word capitalized. It's okay. Tanya says, thank you, you knew. And John Q, much love prayers that Mr. David Robinson get answers soon. Yes, 100%.
Yes,
Daniel Robinson, yes.
Thank you for your support.
Yes.
Thank all of you for being here this afternoon in support of David Robinson out there in Buckeye, Arizona, who's been looking for his son Daniel Robinson since June 26th of last year.
Oh, it's your birthday today, Leanne? That's right. You are a Pisces. She said, my nephew is cooking me birthday dinner. Oh, that is so sweet of him. Tell him, happy birthday, Leanne. Make sure he
happy birthday,
happy
Leanne.
Birthday from me as well. Tell him to cook you a little something for me too. And John Q.
Yes.
You're watching. Okay. Thank you for coming in for the support. Thank you for the support. Appreciate y'all. Let's see. Here's another question. Are these specialists that is doing this testing, are they hired by Mr. Robinson? Thank you for the question.
Yes, 12 step. You can email those questions to me and I can get them over to David.
Mm-hmm. There you go. And did you answer Tanya? She said, are they specialists that are testing that Mr. Robinson hired? Yes, right?
Say again?
The specialists that are working on the stuff for Mr. Robinson, they're specialists that he hired. That's what she's asking, that he hired them, correct?
Yes.
Yes, that's what I thought. Yes, he hired them, sweetie. That's why he's needing the funding, so we can get this case solved and maybe find his son. She said via email. Yes, via email, sweetie. Because, let's just say, I'm not saying he is or isn't, but if he has gone, up to heaven, then we need, he needs to get a proper burial. That's one thing a parent does not want to do, is not be able to find their child and they're passed away and they can't even give them a proper burial.
Right.
I would lose it. Like, I have to. There's no way. If my child is gone, I want to do a proper burial, period.
Right.
Added again has a question. Now I want to know, is that a skull? It looks to be a skull, yes.
We'll soon find out once
Yes.
we're able to give Mr. Robinson that report on the well inspection.
She said she's going to send you the 3 questions to your email.
Okay.
Leanne, added again, said happy birthday in case you didn't see it. She said, I don't want to overstep my boundaries. That's why he said send him to him. He'll take care of it for you, sweetie. Thank you, 12. We appreciate you. Mr. Robinson does too. And you guys, I appreciate you coming in here and, hanging out with us and asking questions and keeping this chat going and getting information out there, because if they haven't seen it yet, they might see it later and they'll be able to they might have the same questions, who knows? And Mr. John Q has answered it for you guys to the best of our ability.
Yes, and hopefully before the end of next week, we'll have some more answers because of this well inspection, number one. Mm-hmm. And then the digital forensics from Daniel's phone should be in as well.
Okay.
So we're looking forward to getting that information, tying down the timeline, and seeing if we can connect some additional dots related to some people that were also out there that day.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
So you guys, we're about to get off here. We've been on here for 2 hours and 34 minutes and 15 seconds. I appreciate y'all coming in and showing the love. We love y'all. Talk to you guys soon.
Yes.
Thank you, Dolphin Fam. And
Yes.
John Q, thank you for coming up here and assisting us here with
Yes, my pleasure.
answers.
My pleasure. Thank
You're
you for
always
having me.
welcome. You're always welcome. Whenever you want to come, my doors are open for you. All right, you guys, have a great day. And yes, make sure you get to the Candlelight Vigil, and it'll be on John Q's. Okay, you guys, see you there. Bye.